All right, so today, really excited. We are here with Sherpa. Guys, you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Alex.
I'm Trevor. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Alex and
Yeah.
Trevor.
Nice to meet
Super
you too.
excited to be here. I know you guys are all Colorado based, super exciting. I mentioned before, I've got a couple of products myself, love them. So let's talk about it. Tell me about how'd you guys get started? Let's start there.
It goes way back. I'm one of the founders. So I started it with my business partner, Will. And really early on, we had Hayden come on board, and he's now an owner as well. But it started in my parents' garage when I was in high school. So the first rack we ever built was
7
with
years
angle
ago.
grinders and late nights and upset parents with power tools, in the garage at 10:30 at night when they're trying to go to bed. But I had a 4Runner and I wanted a roof rack, and I couldn't afford what was on the market. And I also thought there was kind of like some room for a little bit of improvement. And early on, the first rack we ever made was honestly terrible, but it got a lot of
give yourself some
excitement
credit.
on the forums.
It was made in the garage,
It broke on the first trip.
It's a little janky at first,
but that's how you learn, you know?
Yep.
So we built that first rack. We tested it. I had a little bit of a platform on Instagram. People liked the truck. I love taking photos, and that's what we kind of used it for. We needed more space to go out and shoot photos, and we used to shoot racing. So we wanted to get the gear out of the back of the truck and get it on top. So that's where it kind of started, and we had no plans to sell them. We just wanted to build ourselves a rack, and people were interested in them. And in college, it was like, hey, I want to upgrade this rack to something better. And I think we can make something better now that we've learned what was wrong with it. And we needed to fund it. So we posted on the forums. We said, hey, this is kind of the idea. We showed some diagrams of what we wanted to build, and we got some early adopters. So the first few customers, one of them was actually just in the booth a second ago talking to us. They signed up on the thing. They're like, say, hey, I'll pay for it. I'm interested. They're willing to wait the lead time. So we used the money from that pre-sale to manufacture the first batch.
So cool.
And originally we didn't really plan to continue doing that much. So we did a couple batches, and then it was like, hey, people are liking these. We're catching some ground here. So we made a website, filed for an LLC, and
7 years later, you have a 30,000 square foot warehouse, and you're manufacturing and 30 employees.
Yep. Yeah, we brought on a lot of amazing people along the way. We've innovated the product a lot throughout the years, and
when you offer a lot more. You've got the roof racks themselves, which are phenomenal products, but now you're offering a lot of those accessories, additional products like the window panels, things like that. How did you transition, or when did you find it was the right time to go from, okay, we make roof racks, to now we're going to make these other products as well with the same quality that you're making the roof racks with?
Yeah, I mean, just listening to our customers. People would get into the roof racks, and early on, we didn't really have the bandwidth to make all the accessories for it. So we were kind of leaning on other companies that already have good accessories, Yakima, Thule, and some of our other competitors in the market space. And it's a very easily adaptable product. So it's nice that you have this opening to just like, hey, I really like this accessory from another company, but I really like your roof rack. Totally fine. You can run it. They're compatible. But we found a lot of people, they're like, we really love your product. We love your quality. We want to run your accessories. And we kind of found that we needed to make our own accessories anyways for things that other people weren't offering them for. So we've just, as time has allowed, we just continue to grow our accessory line. The window panels were a huge ask early on. The bed racks were a big one that we just got into last year, which we're really excited about, and continuing to grow that whole side as well. But yeah, I mean, just listening to the folks.
That's awesome. You mentioned earlier too, and this is something that like I thought was moving the product from the back, because I have a 4Runner as well, right? Moving the product from the back, and that space is now like taken up to now I can move it on top of the roof rack, and it gives me that space back for additional things that maybe you don't want out in the elements. And I think that was like one of the biggest things. You've got obviously a ton of different rooftop tents people are putting on there, but if you're not running a rooftop tent, you've got so many options with your system, your crossbar system. They use the T-channel slots, and like you can mount just about anything on there, which is huge. So if you're going up camping or, whatever for the weekend, you've got plenty of space on top of your vehicle. So now you've got that space back in your car too.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's a weird analogy, but a lot of the times we're like, it's just adult Legos. They're so versatile. you can take crossbars off, add more, move them around however you want, and pretty much anything attaches to them because it's just 1x2 piece of extrusion. So yeah, I mean it's super universal and versatile. So it's been super fun.
I love that. You're talking about Legos. I always say it's like Connect. Like when you're going, you're like, you buy a box of Connect.
Yeah.
And then it's like, here's what you're supposed to make, but you end up making something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have that too. Customers will send us pictures and it's like, oh, I didn't think you could do that. But clearly it's working for them.
All
so.
you need are some bolts and
yeah.
you're good to go.
And we started DIY, so we support DIY. We sell a lot of our components by themselves on the website. So if you wanted to tackle creating the side plate profile yourself, you can buy the mounts and crossbars from us. So you can get it attached to the truck, but then you can kind of make your own thing from that, which has been a really cool aspect that a lot of other companies aren't doing.
We support a lot of makes and models of vehicles, but not all of them. So like someone the other day I saw had like a Honda CRV rack. Like we don't make that. Yeah. And so they just bought mounting feet and crossbars. And that's all you need. You don't need the side plates. It's more of an aesthetic thing. Yeah. And for structure, obviously that's why we do it. But yeah, we sell, like Alex is saying, all of our components and we encourage it. If we don't make it, you can easily figure it out. And we're willing to help you. So
totally.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Another thing too, like I got the roof rack and I installed it myself and it was really easy to install.
Yeah.
And so, we talk about this a lot, but there's a lot of work effort, a lot of the design and the engineering that goes into making something so functional, but also simple install. And then also the aesthetic is super cool.
Yeah.
So how to obviously, going from sketching this stuff up in your garage to now you've got 30,000 square feet, you've got CNC machine, you've got the whole nine, everything you need.
Yeah.
But that also means like the, I guess planning and all the engineering that goes into the product is really like a precedent that you guys are setting. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, early on, we kind of, when we first started drawing this thing up, we kind of set like parameters that we wanted. And some of it kind of came after the fact of like, oh, wow, I really see the value in how we designed this because it allows us to do this. But we wanted it to be strong. We wanted it to be lightweight. And we wanted it to be small form factor when you ship it.
Right.
So being able to break it down and ship it in a box that UPS doesn't want to chuck across their truck because it's heavy and annoying is really nice. And it allows us to also get it to people really cheap. We offer free shipping on all of our roof racks and bed racks. So that's a huge thing. Amazon, kind of 4-star arm on that one. Everyone loves that Prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was the big factor behind designing it. And we've carried that through a lot of our other products. So
I love that.
Yeah, just important to us.
That's great. Another thing too, like for me, I spent probably close to a year researching all of the different products I wanted to put on my car. And I was like really, really into the weeds of like, each product. So roof rack, sliders, whatever it was, like I was really doing a lot of research. And I called Sherpa a couple of times because I had questions like, hey, if I wanted to do this, like how would I go about doing it? And I got to say the customer service, the people who answer the phones there, so cool, so helpful, like really took the time to answer my questions and help guide me through that process as someone that was new to it.
Yeah.
So I just want to, one, say like, you guys figured that out.
Yeah.
And then two, just, talk about like, how does, obviously the aspect of customer service is really, really important, but for that person to also help me the way that they did and guide me through the process, they know what they're talking about. And they know because they live that lifestyle. And I think that's something that's really important to you all as well.
Yeah, I'll touch on that a bit. So I came in the picture about 2 years ago doing marketing and brand relations. And I mean, we still are very much so grassroots. But something we absolutely look for when hiring is enthusiasts. Like we want you to be into it. We want you to do the hobbies, and it's not a requirement, but it's just more of a culture. And I don't want to sound like arrogant or anything, but we know our product is good. We spend a lot of time developing the product, testing the product. Like these guys have been, doing it for years now. And so, yeah, I mean, really what we look for is people who are into it, people who want to take care of people. And the big thing for us is hospitality. So just taking care of our customers, and not even our customers. Sometimes people are calling and they're like, hey, like I have this other rack and I'm trying to figure out how to attach, my kayaks and all that stuff using your products or whatever, because we do make a variety of those products.
Right.
And so we're always just down to help out. We're super into like all the social media, the forums, and that's been from the beginning, kind of like how Alex said. So yeah, I'd say we really are grounded with the industry, and we focus a lot on just customer service and hospitality. So and it just kind of happened naturally. And so yeah, we gravitate towards that, and it kind of just worked out. So everyone that works for us is awesome, and
Love that. I love that.
Community's huge.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
without the community, there is no Sherpa. Like,
yeah,
we've really tried to build a brand that promotes a really good culture around our product, around the way we recreate, around how we recreate, making sure we're doing it responsibly. And I think it just naturally has created this really cool culture around us.
yeah.
And I think we're trying to inspire new people to get into it. We're trying to get them to do it responsibly.
We're also just in such a cool area. Like we're just in the mecca for all
We
the
have
all the
access.
hobbies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're all
So true.
skiers and snowboarders and climbers, and we have everybody. So it's awesome.
That's so cool. You've got the enthusiast. You've also got the knowledge behind the product design, the engineering aspect of it. You've got it all on one roof. So as customers are providing feedback, as part of, the team that's responsible for finding that feedback, collecting it, obviously understanding what it is, you're also like a knock away from somebody from the engineering standpoint who can you can say, hey, here's some feedback we have. What do you think? And then you can get like kind of a functional answer to that question.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's great. I mean, that's one thing that we've worked for since the beginning. I mean, when we first started, we had no capital, we had no money, we barely could make rent, but we're DIYers, we're tinkerers, and we love to do that kind of stuff. And as we've grown, we've continued to grow our ability to do this thing. So we've taken all manufacturing in-house, we have engineers in-house. So pretty much every aspect except for the really dirty, hard things to do, which would take millions and millions of dollars to do ourselves, like unroll your own aluminum and extrude your own crossbars and manufacture your own hardware. We do everything in house. So we cut, we bend, we process, we paint, and we ship it out. So we have our hands in a vast majority of the entire process, which gives us full quality control, but it also allows us to play and create and try new things and break things. Like our bed rack that we released this last year, we had been working on for upwards of 3 years and have hundreds of thousands of miles of testing on them, because we would build something and we would go beat the crap out of it and we would break it and we would adapt and change it and make it better.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been like that since day one. Like I knew these guys before I started working, and they were out testing every weekend, and not even purposefully testing, they're just out doing it, and naturally that's testing it. And from when I began 2 years ago, I think I was number 11 or 12 on the employee list, and now we're approaching 30, or we're at 30. And with the growth, like we've been able to hire some actual talent. Like we have 2 engineers now. And I mean, it just started from
a lot of experience behind them. It's
That's
given us
cool,
some
man.
validity of, hey, we actually did the right things early on.
Right.
I mean, when we started, we were young,
Yeah.
We've been learning this all along. I went to school for journalism, and I'm over here trying to run a company with my business partner who has a degree in architecture. So, but Hayden brought us validity. I mean, he has a mechanical engineering degree, and he gave us a lot of confidence in the product early on, and we fixed some flaws that non-engineers had before we started putting it out in the market big time. So
it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited to check out the bed racks that you guys have. We'll take a walk through the rack here too, and what's the most unique setup on top of a rack that you guys have seen? Something where like somebody sent you a picture or tagged you in a picture, and you're like, whoa, okay.
There's been a few. I think one of the
We've
funniest
done some
ones,
things.
We've done some hilarious things.
If you want to talk about
we
that.
can talk about that too.
Yeah, we put a Miata.
Yeah, we put a car up there.
Little PR stunt.
Yeah.
We've done a rooftop tent with a kayak, with a bike. We've gotten creative.
I think one of my favorite things though is probably one of the most simple things, a rooftop deck. So you have the tent on the bed rack behind it, and then you use the cab rack as literally a porch.
Yeah.
So you can crawl out of your tent in the morning, you have your chair set up, and you can hang out with a nice view on top of it.
We make they're called adapt plates, but it's essentially like you could piece together these aluminum plates. And kind of what Alex is saying, people have gotten creative with making decks, putting chairs up there.
Yep.
That's
So,
sweet. That's
yeah,
so cool.
Yeah.
I run a rooftop tent on top of mine, and it's like 320 pounds, I think, something like that. So it's not
Yeah.
light.
on the
It's a
heavy
big
It's
end.
on
one.
the, yeah, it's a full pop up,
Yep.
so you can sit up in it and whatever. And then on top of that, I put 2 kayaks, and that thing just handled like a champ.
Yeah.
She's loaded up.
Yeah, she was loaded.
We
But
love it.
It was cool.
They're over engineered, but
Hey,
some
but
people
that
need
allows
it.
you to do stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And
Yeah.
for those that don't know, we off-road race. So we race every year the hardest race in the United States, which is King of the Hammers, and it is no joke. Like, we've broken many things on our Forerunner, and somehow the roof rack has
Never the roof rack.
withstood all of it the whole time.
The test of time.
It's
Yeah.
been an amazing platform to show us what that rack is truly capable of. We've done a 200-mile race with a rooftop tent on it, got first place, and
That's
we
so
were
sweet.
whipping the Forerunner around like madmen. And the tent stayed on. We actually reached out to the tent company and we were like, hey, we're testing our roof rack. We're putting your tent on it. I purchased this tent and I camp in it. If something happens, do you have any interest in helping us out with a deal if we have to replace this? And they were like, oh yeah, totally fine. We're happy to help out. So it gave us the confidence to just go
do it.
run
And nothing
hard.
broke.
And if something
Nothing
fell
broke.
off, we
And
could
you
fix it, but nothing did. The tent held up too. So go fast campers, super light.
Shout out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's sweet. So I know you guys you race, right? And
Yeah.
that was something I was gonna bring up because that's such a cool thing that you do. And like not a lot of companies are doing stuff like that, but you're doing it with your components on it. It's one
Yeah.
thing to have a car or some type of whatever you're racing, right? It's one thing to have that and race it and do a wrap on your vehicle with your logo on it. It's another than to put your product on that car and do it. I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun. And some people ask us like, hey, what did you like beef up or upgrade on that roof rack on the truck? Like,
Yeah.
we know that the truck has a roll cage. Is it tied into the roll cage? And it's not. It uses our mounts that we ship with that rack. And it's actually funny. For those that know 4th Gen Forerunners, it is a 2 mount system per side. So it has the least amount of mounting points of any other rack that we offer. So technically it is our weakest product offering, and we put it through the most abuse.
Hell and
it
back.
holds up
That's so
great.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's so
and I mean
cool.
that the whole racing thing, like, yeah, it's great for marketing and
Yeah.
stuff, but these guys just love to race,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
just it's staying true to where you came from, and like that's just something we never want to lose.
Yeah.
And I think that's personally why people just do love Sherpa is just because we're for the people, we're true to ourselves, and we're not going to change. So
We want to play just as hard as everyone
Yeah,
else does.
yeah.
Totally.
and that's what we do on the weekends.
Yeah.
That's sick. So we can jump into some product walkthroughs unless there's some things you guys want to touch base on that we haven't yet.
No, it'd be
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah, let's
show,
do it.
Show you what makes us Sherpa.
Let's do it. Cool.
So on our Land Cruiser here, this is our new LC250. It's actually one of our most recent trucks we've gotten in the shop and our most recent rack release. But this is a great rack to showcase pretty much everything that we've done over the last 7+ years as far as manufacturing and design goes. It's got all our cool little features built into it. So our side plates on here are a 6000 series 1/4-inch aluminum. This is a peak series rack, so it's really burly. It's a very rigid material, so it can't be bent very easily. If you actually try to bend one of these in a press, this material will actually crack. It's a very rigid and stout material, so it works really well on these long runs like this, and it's one of the key features on our rack that makes it so strong. You also have our mounting feet up here, which are a 1/4-inch aluminum Z bracket that gives you a direct load path. So when you have something big and heavy on these trucks, they're going to be sitting directly on these crossbars, and that allows that load path to go straight down into your mounting points, as opposed to going through the side plate and down through like a 90-degree bend like some competitors do. We also have our built-in rubber roof seals with our bonded washers, so no silicone, no mess. You install it, tighten it down, and your truck's going to be watertight. You're not going to have to deal with any gross sealants or anything like that and wondering if you sealed it up. All you got to do is attach it to the truck. And then at the front, this is our furthest forward hard attached mount on the truck. So we do a pressure foot up front that allows you to get that solid rigidity out of the rack without drilling in or modifying the vehicle past its stock form. We have our wind fairing up front, so that kicks the air up and over. We have a half fairing version that allows you to mount light bars. Everything's adjustable and modular. Trevor can touch on the extrusion a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So we use a pretty standard, just 1x2 extruded aluminum, and it is vehicle specific. So the width of each vehicle varies. So we offer all different sizes, and like we mentioned in the sit down section, we do sell this separate if in case people want to do DIY, which again we support. So yeah, that's pretty much that. All the crossbars are adjustable, like Alex mentioned, in these slots right here. So you can add more, you can take out the extrusion. Obviously, some of them are fixed in the roof with the mounting feet. But other than that, yeah, super versatile. They're all adaptable. You can use most clamp style accessories or just a drop in bolt with a nut. So yeah.
So as you can see, we have some gear outfitted on this truck. This is a pretty common setup for a lot of people. We have our Max Tracks up here on Max Tracks mounts with their pins. It's probably the most common way to mount these. You can also mount these with straps and our Sherpa Smileys, which just give you more tie down points. And behind it, we have these new cases from Lightner. So this is just kind of giving you an idea of what you can do with these. A lot of people are running rooftop tents, mountain bikes, but pretty much anything with a hole through it that allows you to bolt it, you can bolt it to our extrusions. We also make panels that you can bolt onto here that give you like a whole grid layout of bolt patterns. You can mount your rotopacks, your jerry cans, bikes, snowboards, ski racks, pretty much the world's your oyster as far as these racks go. Our Peak series has pretty high load ratings, so this rack right here has a 300-pound dynamic load rating. Dynamic being when it's in motion, so driving down the road, bombing dirt roads, rock crawling, and then static, it's upwards of 600 pounds. So you can load this thing up when you get in your rooftop tent. You can have multiple people in there. Not going to be a big deal. So this is our 2024 Toyota Tacoma. It's the new 4th generation. This has our Rainier cab rack on it, which has all those same features that our rack on that Land Cruiser had. We have a solar panel up here, rotopacks on the other side. We have our adapt plate that I was talking about that gives you more mounting options, or just a flat surface to strap things on. This one has the full fairing up front. And then on the back of the truck here, we have our pack system. So this is the bed rack system. This is our mid-height version, so it sits a little bit lower. We set this up so that when you put a rooftop tent like this one on it, it's actually going to sit pretty much flush with your cab rack. So it gives you really good aerodynamics. It allows you to still fit in the garage. We have different accessory panels. We have a small one that's our standard one, and then we have the XL one, which you see here. These are those Max Tracks mounts. We kind of have it off just so you can see how the pins work and how you can bolt things to it. But as you can see, this bed rack has holes and slots all over it. So whatever you're really trying to mount, we have accessories that you can use, or you can just get creative at home with some hardware and bolt up your options. On the other side, we have a pretty cool setup with the mountain bike. We also have a Roam water tank on here. This is a 7-gallon water tank that we have bolted to the side. So you can wash your dishes, wash your hands, spray off your muddy boots. This is a prototype tray that works with a Ramble bike rack, which is really cool. These are from the guys at Rigged Supply. This is a really awesome, beefy bike rack, but we offset it down to the side of our bed rack, and we've been testing it, and we're probably pretty close to releasing this product. We've had it on this truck for about 6 months, and we've taken this truck through some serious trails with the mountain bike on it, and it is solid for a mountain bike rack. So this has been great. We love the guys at Rigged, and stoked to work with them on this.
Especially a 50-pound bike.
Yeah, this is a 50-pound e-bike from Specialized, so it's no slump as far as a bike goes. It's a really fun bike.
Torture testing.
But yeah, it's been great. Our first iteration, we found some improvements we wanted to make, and this is our second iteration of it. And we take our time with testing, so we wanted to make sure that before we release this, that you're not going to have issues down the road as you go rock crawl and jump and play with your truck, or God forbid you get in an accident. You don't want your mountain bike falling off, becoming a hazard. So all those kind of scenarios, we just want to make sure that everything's dialed for that kind of stuff. So thank you.